The rain was falling so hard that night it blurred the lights of the city into a trembling haze. Inside a quiet hospital room, a young woman sat alone on the edge of the bed, one hand resting gently on her pregnant belly, the other clutching a phone that had just delivered the worst message of her life. Her husband had filed for divorce. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. And the message ended with something colder than the rain outside. He was already planning to marry someone else. What he did not know, what he had never bothered to ask, was that the woman he had just abandoned was the only daughter of a billionaire whose identity had always been kept secret. Only hours earlier, that billionaire father had died, leaving behind a fortune that would soon turn the entire story upside down. Maya Carter had never been someone who liked attention. Even growing up, she had chosen quiet corners, libraries, and long walks over parties and bright lights. Her mother raised her to value kindness over status, humility over wealth. The world believed Maya came from an ordinary background, and she allowed that belief to continue. Her father had insisted on it. He was one of the wealthiest men in the country, but his empire was built in industries that attracted endless attention, competitors, and sometimes danger. To protect his daughter, he kept their connection private. Only a few lawyers and trusted associates knew the truth. Maya honored that secret even after she married Daniel Hayes. Daniel had once seemed like a good man. When they met 3 years earlier, he worked as a junior manager at a financial firm. Charming, ambitious, and attentive in ways that made Maya feel safe. He told her he admired her simplicity. He said he loved that she did not care about money or luxury. At the time, Maya believed every word. Money or luxury. At the time, Maya believed every word. She believed love would be enough. But love has a strange way of revealing people slowly. Over the past year, Daniel had changed. Promotions at work made him restless. Over the past year, Daniel had changed. Promotions at work made him restless. He began chasing social circles filled with wealthier people. Fancy dinners, expensive suits, new friends who spoke endlessly about status and influence. Maya noticed how often he compared himself to others. She noticed how quickly his patience disappeared whenever she suggested a quiet evening instead of another networking event. Then came the woman named Vanessa. Vanessa was everything Maya was not. She loved attention, bright dresses, loud laughter, and rooms full of people watching her. Daniel met her through business events, and soon her name appeared in his conversations more and more often. At first he called her a colleague, then a friend, then he stopped mentioning her at all. Maya did not want to suspect the worst. She was already dealing with the exhaustion of pregnancy, and the stress of balancing her job with medical appointments. She hoped the distance between them was temporary, but the message on her phone erased all hope. Sign the papers. It will be easier forever. That was all Daniel wrote, followed by a photo of him standing beside Vanessa at a luxury restaurant, smiling as if nothing in the world had consequences. Maya stared at the screen while the rain tapped against the window. Her first instinct was not anger, it was disbelief. Not because Daniel had chosen someone else, but because he had done it so quickly, so carelessly, as if the life they built together meant nothing. Quiet knock came at the hospital door. A man in a dark suit stepped inside, holding an umbrella that still dripped rainwater onto the floor. His name was Mr. Lawson, one of her father's lawyers. His expression carried the weight of difficult news. Paul presunking Jerry, Paul du fistaffi fate in soul light a Paul, forth or forcing forth a Rome. Miss Carter, he said gently, I'm very sorry. Your father passed away earlier tonight. For a moment, the world felt silent. Maya had known her father's health had been fragile, but hearing the words still felt unreal. She pressed her hand against her stomach, steadying herself as emotions rushed through her chest. Grief, loneliness. Then Mr. Lawson spoke again. There is something important you must know, he said. Your father left everything to you. Maya frowned slightly. Everything? The entire Carter Group, the assets, the companies, the properties. The board has already been notified. Legally, you are now the sole heir. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. In another part of the city, Daniel Hayes sat in a candlelit restaurant laughing with Vanessa while waiters delivered plates of expensive food. XTNT9. He was celebrating what he believed was a fresh start. Divorce papers filed, a wealthy social circle welcoming him. Vanessa already talking about the wedding she imagined. Daniel leaned back in his chair, completely unaware that by the end of the week, the name Carter would appear on every financial news channel in the country. And when that happened, the woman he had abandoned would no longer be the quiet wife he thought he understood. 3 days later, the city woke up to headlines that spread faster than wildfire. Carter Group founder passes away. Mysterious daughter named Soleil here. Daniel first saw the news on his office television. At first, he barely paid attention. Billionaires died all the time. Corporations changed leadership constantly. But then the screen showed a photograph of the heir. His coffee slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor, because the woman in the photo was Maya. The office fell silent as co-workers stared at the screen in disbelief. The article explained that Maya Carter had lived privately for years, protecting her identity for security reasons. Financial experts estimated the inheritance to be worth billions. Daniel's heart pounded so loudly he could barely hear the voices around him. His wife, the woman he had divorced just days earlier, was now one of the richest people in the country. Across the city, Maya stood quietly in a tall glass building overlooking the skyline. Lawyers, executives, and advisors filled the room, discussing strategies, leadership transitions, and public announcements. But Maya's attention drifted toward the window. She thought about her father, the lessons he taught her, the quiet strength he always carried. Then she thought about Daniel. For the first time since reading the divorce message, a small, calm smile appeared on her face. Not a smile of revenge, a smile of clarity, because she finally understood something important. The man who walked away from her had never truly known who she was, and soon, the entire world would. Far across the city, Daniel grabbed his phone with shaking hands and dialed Maya's number again and again. But every call went straight to silence, and that silence would soon become the biggest mistake of his life.